Hello, MotoAmerica fans. It's time for another episode of Off Track with Carruthers and Bice. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and you may even learn something from this unlikely pair and their special guest. The mic is yours, Paul and Sean.
Hey, MotoAmerica fans. Welcome to this latest episode of Off Track with Carruthers and Bice. Carruthers is on the far side. I'm Bice. And in the middle, we have Rickdiculous Racing Supersport rider Nick McFadden from Owensboro, Kentucky, or the OWB, as we affectionately call it. Nick, glad to have you on here.
Yep, thanks for having me.
We've been wanting you for a while to come down and hang out with us. So we wanted to have you on video, especially for the whole effect of the Nick McFadden look. I mean, look at the guy.
Handsome, ruggedly handsome.
Totally.
So y'all can make fun of how I talk.
No, well, maybe
Yeah, that's why.
Can you tell us what your favorite beer is?
Coors Light.
But no, it's one of the things that's funny about you, Nick, is you're from that area, but your accent's different than everybody else. Do people tell you that, and why is it?
I have no idea why it is. They just say you talk slow, and
I think that's what it is.
it.
It's just slow.
Okay.
Well, some of the other guys from around there migrated. I mean, Jake's not too far away, but JD came from Washington, so his accent's not as bad. But yeah, I don't know. I guess all my friends mostly are country besides the guys I race with, so it's probably I'll pick up from them.
The other question I want to ask you is, so your relationship with the Haydens, people don't really, I mean, I think most people know, but some people don't. Tell us what that's all about. Your last name's McFadden, but the Hayden background.
Yeah, I'm not actually technically related to them. One of my cousins
I
is
thought
married
everybody
to
in
their
that state was
sister.
related.
Oh, jeez. I didn't mean to set it up that way. Sorry.
Go on.
Go ahead, Nick.
I guess we date our cousin. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's the
there's
word on the
something-
street. I don't date my cousins, but anyways, yeah, one of my cousins is married to their sister, so I guess her last name is McFadden, so they think we're related, but not really. But I just grew up on the same street as Tommy. He lived a couple houses down from me, and Roger and them have always been a mile or two away, and I've just been riding around there since I was little and always been around them, so I guess people think we're related, but not really. And yeah, just been hanging around that circle forever, so I get kind of associated with it, I guess.
Now you're kind of like you're the youngest one in that group, right? You're the one that seems like they pick on the most. Like you're like the target.
Yeah, I think Roger used to get picked on the most, and now that I'm the baby, we got a new generation of people. He likes picking on me the worst. I get drugged around the garage by my underwear and some other stuff.
Are you talking about Roger that does it, or is it any of the guys?
Roger's the ringleader.
Yeah, he's the instigator for
Really?
sure. Yeah.
He's making up for all the stuff that he got when he was the young one.
Yeah, he passed it on to me, so now I'm the one that takes everything. It's kind of weird, like even though, I don't know, I ride at a decent speed. I wouldn't say I'm the fastest guy out here, but on the practice track on the daily, I'm the slowest guy, and most of the time if I went somewhere else, I'd be one of the faster ones. So
Really?
it's always, it's cool to ride with those guys, and I'm always chasing them, but I'm the youngest guy, and I'm always the slowest guy mostly every day, so it's always I don't know, it's always tough for me, but I just got to block it out, yeah.
At what point did you get involved in motorcycles? You mentioned that you were down the street from Tommy. Is it because of him, or did you just like motorcycles anyway?
Yeah, no one in my family rode, so it was definitely from him. I was a little kid. My mom would stay home with me, and we have a front door that has a big glass in it, and I would just sit there and look outside because I couldn't do anything. I was a little kid, and I would see Tommy wheelie in his pit bike. That was his favorite thing to do, was see if he could go all the way around the court doing a wheelie. And I would see him doing that probably 3 or 4 times a week, and then I asked my dad if I could get a PW50, and Santa Claus brought it a couple months later, and I've just been riding ever since. And then we built this little track in my backyard, and he came down and helped out and then rode with me. So I've just been doing it since I was 3.5 or 4.
That's cool. How many kids are in your family?
Just 3. It's me. I'm the oldest, 22. Then I have a little sister that just went to college last weekend, and then my little brother's 10, but none of them.
The little brother's
racing.
funny.
Yeah, Tanner's kind of got his own personality. I've actually never met him, but I hear he's pretty active on social media and stuff.
He posts some funny stuff. I'd like to say that he's a troublemaker, not by my fault. Mostly my friends that instigated that. He'll come in the house and say something that my mom doesn't think is very funny, but he picked it up from somebody around there. I'll just say it wasn't me.
That's quite a difference in age, though. I mean, he's probably grown up fairly fast because he's been around older people, your parents, but certainly the fact that you're older and your sister's quite a bit older than him. So
yeah, I'd say for sure he picks up sports a lot quicker than I did, or he's a lot more advanced than I was at that age. Probably just from me beating up on him. And Jay, those two act the same age. They'll be upstairs arguing.
Jake Lewis.
They'll be upstairs arguing, yelling at each other. I'm like, dude, you're 23 and he's 10. Chill out. But I think he's 10 too.
And Tanner is probably quite a bit shorter than Jake.
Yeah, he's a little bitty guy. Jake, he's probably, I don't know, 4 foot something. Jake's 6 foot, 6'3", and they're just up there bickering at each other all night. My mom goes up there and puts it into it.
That's amazing.
Does he like motorcycles, Tanner?
No, he'll ride in the backyard every now and then, but not really. He's a hockey and football guy now.
Oh, he plays hockey.
Yeah, he loves hockey. He travels all the time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So most of the time in the winter, I'm always home by myself because my parents travel to his tournaments or whatever every weekend. So.
Wow, he's going to probably try to continue with that and do more with it, huh?
Yeah, he's dabbling into football and he likes that. So who knows? Right now he's juggling 2 sports. I'm sure when he gets to 9th grade or whatever, he's going to have to pick one or the other.
Wow. Is he a pretty good skater?
Yeah, I'd like to say so. I don't know. He's probably top 2 or 3 on his team.
That's
and they
great.
play on a AAA team that travels every weekend.
That's
so
good.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Did you
do any other sports?
Just hockey. Well, I played baseball, but then I got scared of the ball whenever they started throwing about 50 or 60. I would back out of the plate, so I just quit playing.
So you played hockey too?
Yeah, I played defense, and that's what he plays, the same position.
Wow.
I did, yeah.
What's the deal with hockey with you guys? I mean, I wouldn't think of that area as being big on hockey.
Well, that was the sport that my dad played. My
Oh.
uncle was a goalie for University of Kentucky.
Really?
So I just kind of took after them.
Ah, it's a
Luckily, I
great
still
sport.
have all my teeth because they don't. So,
Yeah, I was going to say you have a
yeah,
good smile for being a hockey player.
I'm glad I still have all my teeth. I got out there early enough before they started playing with the half shields.
What's it like to be, Hayden Gillum is your teammate, and he's obviously from your area. He's part of your group that you hang out with. What's it like to be teammates with him? You see him a lot. You're around him all the time, aren't you?
Yeah, he lives in the same area. We don't see each other that much as I do the other guys. He kind of does his own thing, which seems to be working for him because he's winning races. But I don't see him as much as I do the other guys. But we grew up together and traveled together when we were little kids. And, we've known each other since we were 4 or 5. So we kind of predict what each other's going to do.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you work much together on race weekends since you're on the same team and on the same bike, essentially?
I wouldn't say like he and I directly working together. I get to use some of his data, which helps me out. But like personal wise, not too much. I may be asking a couple of questions here and there, but it's nothing big.
Is there any one guy in that group that helps you more than anybody else? Is it Roger or?
Yeah, I'd like to think Roger or JD. I mean, those two are more mature than the rest of us, so and they got quite a bit more knowledge. But if it's one of those two, I don't know. I'd like to say Roger probably a little bit more, but JD does help me out quite a bit, and he's definitely the smartest working on bikes. So if I have bike problems, he's always there to help me in that. Yeah, but I'd like to think Roger probably.
I thought Jake Lewis was
the
most mechanically.
Yeah, if you want your bike brakes put on backwards or a lever on top of the perch or something, he might be your guy.
And then I saw these guys. I don't know if you follow it, Sean, but these guys are always, if they can ever get a photo of each other sleeping. When they're driving.
Which is usually Jake, right? Jake sleeps a lot, doesn't he?
No, this is what he did yesterday. We drove up here 8-hour drive. 7 of the 8 hours he lays in the back complaining how tired he is, blah, blah, blah. So Bobby and I are in the front driving. We're talking to each other, whatever. Then he finally goes up there for the last hour. He finally gets in the front. We go in the back, fall asleep. Immediately, he's getting a selfie. Posting it on Facebook
With those guys
10 minutes after. And I don't know how, but we ended up laying head close. Our heads were pretty close. And then I've been hearing crap about it all day.
Incriminating photos.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you guys are all close. So I guess there's... you're just back to you and Hayden on the same team. You're your riding style is quite a bit different than Hayden's, right? I mean, body type's different too. That probably has something to do with it. But would you say you ride differently than he does?
Yeah, for sure. Body position's quite a bit different. He's a little bigger. He uses more of his body, I'd say, in the corners, and I wish I could do that. I've been working on that a little bit. I think I sit too much in the middle of the seat, kind of old school, and I'd like to get off and use my body a little bit more in the corners. I'd say he manhandles the bike a little better than I do, and that's something that I need to work on.
Mm.
Now, you do a lot of coaching and stuff with those Rickdiculous guys, right?
We do a little bit. If they like to have 4 or 5 students, they keep their schools pretty small, which is awesome for the student. Getting to learn one-on-one with the instructors, I wish I could have had that opportunity growing up whenever I was a little kid, but it might be a little bit more expensive to go to that school, but they get more one-on-one time, and if they need help with that, if they're running short or whatever, it will help a little bit. But most of the time, we're just out there working on what we need to work on. We work with Ken Hill. I've been working with him the past couple of years, and he'll give us a checklist that we need to do, and we go out there and just work on that on our own. But yeah, if they get in a bind and need somebody, we'll for sure go over there and help.
Do you find yourself still, I mean, obviously you're still improving, but has there been some rough periods where you kind of feel like you get in a rut?
Well, this year's been one of those times. I don't know. I feel like the Superstock 600 year that I won a couple races and got on the box quite a bit. I mean, that was probably one of my most enjoyable years. And then last year, I finished off the podium 3 times by .001, which is nothing.
Right.
And so, I feel like I had it. And then this year I had high expectations getting on the R6. And then we had 4 or 5 guys come into the 600 class, and I've been back in 7th or 8th. So I've been improving, and I feel like I'm riding a lot better, but not getting the results that I want. So I feel like I don't know, like I need to have a little bit more confidence and just go for it one weekend, I guess. I wouldn't say I'm in a rut because I'm improving and I'm faster than I was last year, but it's just frustrating being back there whenever coming into the season. I thought I was going to be a lot closer to
But
him.
it's also got to be difficult. I mean, it's a tough class, and there's a lot of fast guys in there, and I mean, I don't know how big, is it a big step to get to the next group?
I'd say I'm getting closer. I mean, race 2 at Sonoma, that's probably one of my worst tracks, and my fastest lap was only 2 or 3 tenths off the guy that got on the podium. So it's not that. It's just I feel like I'm picking up the speed. It's just being consistent for 19 laps instead of only being there for 10.
Right.
It's just, I feel like I'm picking the speed up a little bit here and there, and we're getting a lot closer, but I need to do that over race distance instead of just for a couple laps. But that's something that I've been working on, and I'm getting a little better, but I want to be there now instead of taking my time.
Is your goal to get on a bigger bike? I mean, do you think 1,000 would work well for you, like stock 1,000? Or?
I mean, if the opportunity was there, I'd like to get there, but in the class that we're in right now is the most competitive thing that there is besides, I'd say, Superbike. I wouldn't like to make the jump to Superbike until I win Supersport 600 races or a championship. I feel like I would just be taking a couple steps backwards whenever I need to work on myself, and I need to win races here first to prove myself before I get on a bigger bike.
And you're still young.
22.
22, yeah, wow.
Sean's shirt is 23.
This weekend, we're at Pittsburgh International Race Complex.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that.
Yeah,
we're like here.
Well, here we are, and it's before the weekend starts. This is a 3-day weekend for us. Tell us about Pittsburgh. Every rider we ever talk to says they really like this track, and how do you feel about it?
Yeah, coming from the track that we just left, I love this place. But,
so you're not a Sonoma fan?
Not a Sonoma fan at all.
What do you like about this? Does being closer? This is one of the closer tracks to home, isn't it for you?
Yeah, it's only 8 hours. It's super smooth with the new asphalt. It's fast flowing, and I think it's going to work well for our bike. So I haven't rode the R6 here, but I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, just being back on the East Coast is super nice. We've been out on the West Coast for a while now, so it's kind of nice being back in my natural habitat, I guess you could say. And yeah, I feel like I've done pretty decent here in the past. I haven't got the best results, but it hasn't been bad. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the weekend. I think it's going to be pretty good.
So Rickdiculous Racing is based in Utah, and you've spent a lot of time out in Utah. And what's that like for you? That's quite a different place than Kentucky for you. Does it feel like you're on another planet when you're there?
Yeah. Well, a couple of years ago was the first time I'd really been there whenever I raced out there. And I wasn't so fond of the area, but now I go out there and spend quite a bit of time with Josh and his dad, Adam. And they live in a really nice part just on the other side of Salt Lake in like the Park City area. And it's awesome out there. I love spending time there, and I go there every chance I get now. And before I wasn't a big fan, and now I love the area. So yeah, it's just quite a bit different than what I'm used to, but I really like the atmosphere and everything that's going on around there.
When you're there, do you stay with them?
Yeah, I stay in their house.
Okay, well, that's got to be pretty nice to. It's a great team. I mean, the way it's a father and a son, and I don't know how many people. I don't even understand the concept of the Rickdiculous. Can you explain that at all to us? What the Rick is? It's something to do with college, right? With Josh.
Yeah, Josh went to college, and I'm not sure. I guess they called him Rick. It was like a persona or something, I think, in college, and they just called him Rick. And then I guess he started calling his buddies Rick. And then so we're all Ricks. We got Ricks, Nicks, and Sean's. Our whole team's made up of three names.
Really?
I mean, there's Kelly or like there's
Kelly. Yeah.
There's one or two of them, but there's multiples of the Rick, Nicks, and Sean's over there. We got 2 or 3 of each.
Really?
So, yeah,
I didn't know there were a couple of Sean's, so I should join that team then. I could fit right in.
Yeah.
There's no Pauls?
Yeah.
No Pauls.
You can't join. Sorry.
Yes, I'm going to have to stay here.
I know Josh. I think Josh is the one that does a lot of the video work with you guys. Are you in quite a few videos with them? I mean, you guys do quite a bit every weekend.
Yeah, they try to get a little bit of everything, really. We do an interview before the weekend, and then they cover footage all through the weekend of the sessions and stuff like that. And then at the end of the weekend, they do like a wrap up. But yeah,
Rick TV.
Right.
We have Josh that he runs the microphone, and then Nick, he's shooting most of the video, and those two do an awesome job together, and they're trying to get some good footage for the fans and followers.
That's cool.
Online,
I was trying to think
cool.
what that is, the other Nick.
Yeah, Nick
The video
Logan,
guy, yeah. He's a good guy.
Do you find when you're out in Utah compared to Kentucky, and I know you obviously train all the time, you're always at JD's Turn Tracker, you're doing bicycles back home, and in Utah you're training as well. I talked to Gage a couple of years ago. Gage Reese is, Kelly Reese is the team manager. Gage is his son, and they moved to Owensboro. And one of the things Gage told me about living there is he would notice the difference in the elevation and atmosphere. Do you feel it when you're out there?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think just the city itself's at 4,500 feet, where we're at probably 600 or 700 feet back home. So immediately whenever I get there, I feel it. I don't think the first day you really feel it, and then it starts setting in day 2, day 3. But yeah, we went out there this winter for we did body testing and stuff with Mike's test just to see where we were like physically wise. And I think if you live there, your numbers were a little bit better than say mine or Hayden that came in from Kentucky, just because they're acclimated to it and stuff. And then I went out there like 3 weeks ago, and I stayed a week or so before, and then went cycling wherever I was already acclimated, and it wasn't really much of a difference to me. So I'd say just the first couple of days are hard for us, but then after day 4 or day 5, then we're pretty much.
But explain it. So it's at a higher elevation, which means there's less oxygen in the air. So it's oxygen getting to your blood, and is that what it is?
Yeah, just like say cycling, for instance, I don't notice it too much on the bike besides like I'll get cotton mouth, but Scott Russell and Shane Turpin and I, we went and climbed a hill, and you'll just get short of breath way quicker. You don't have as much oxygen running through your blood, and you'll just get lightheaded a little quicker. So usually they'll end up dropping me the first or second day out there, and by the end of the week, then I'm right back with
Really?
them. Yeah.
So then when you go back home and you get back with your OWB guys, do you see, is your fitness better? Does it help at all?
I mean, I'd say maybe for a day or two.
Really?
I don't notice a big a difference as some people say that they do. They say they get back down to sea level and they're just like they just rock it for a day, but I don't feel like that.
You don't?
No, yeah. I don't know. Some people notice it more than others. It's about like anything. It affects people differently, but I'd say going out there affects me a lot worse than coming up. Like, I don't notice the change back coming home, but on the way out there, I do for sure.
So the negative affects more than the positive.
Yeah, for sure.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I wish it was the other way around.
Yeah, it would be better.
You need to give Roger a harder time on the bicycle.
I need to put that training mask on whenever I'm riding. Maybe that'll help me out.
I
Put
see
the
a guy
training
at
mask
home
on
that
at
wears one of those,
elevation,
and he's
then
on like a
come back
beach
to sea
cruiser.
level.
It doesn't make any
Hey,
sense.
I got passed by a guy on a beach cruiser one time, and I did not feel good.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned Scott Russell and Shane Turpin, who also raced. What's it like to hang out with Scott? I mean, Scott's kind of a different person than he was when he raced, or at least maybe what you heard about the way he was when he raced. How do you get along with him?
Yeah, me and him spent quite a bit of time together out in Utah, and I like hanging out with him. We went to a bike race together, and he's kind of like me, talks slow. He's a Southern boy, so
yeah, that must be a long conversation.
Yeah, maybe yours and his 5-minute conversation is our 10-minute conversation. So,
So if you guys did a podcast, you wouldn't cover as much material as Paul and I do.
Or it'd be like 4 hours.
we'd get 20 minutes in, y'all's 30. So
He's really committed to the bicycle stuff now, though, right? I mean, he's really
he's a
into
nut.
it.
yeah, I'd say he loves it just because, I mean, he doesn't have much else going on. I think he kind of set himself up pretty good for retirement.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't have much else that he does. I think he has a girlfriend back home, but other than that, cycling's pretty much his life now.
That's cool.
So I know when we were out there, I like to sleep in a little later, probably 9 o'clock-ish. He's up staring at me at 6:30.
Really?
He's like, "You ready to ride, man?" I was like,
Hi,
"No,
man.
I'm still sleeping for another 30
Hi,
minutes."
man, you ready to
ride? Yeah, if
All right,
not, he's just bugging out, ready to ride, which is cool. But
So tell us about the turn track at JD's. Now, you've been part of that group long enough that I understand Sunset Downs was where you used to ride. That's no longer, they filled it in or something like that. So now you go to JD's and ride his turn track. Is his turn track set up the way Sunset Downs was? Is it different than what? Tell us about that.
yeah, his turn track's quite a bit different. We used to have like a pumpkin patch out there that we would till up for the rest of the year and ride at Sunset Downs. And we rode there so much that the dirt like turned to sand kind of just because we kept breaking it down every single day. And yeah, but that was cool. We would always change the new layout. Nicky would have a new track that he would want out there every year. So it was always changing up, which was super cool. And now we have JD's place, which is, he laid it out on the side of a hill. So we have off camber corners.
Wow.
It's up and down, has some elevation and stuff. So it's just a lot different. And I feel like it's pretty technical. He rides like point and shoot, kind of helps him out, works to his favor a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I think just
Sets it up for him.
Yeah, it just depends on how the day is, but he's usually pretty fast out there. But yeah, it's super nice, and it's a lot different than what we used to ride. And then he also has a short track up above where Hayden and them's house is.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best short tracks that I've ever rode. So,
Seriously?
yeah, they have lights and stuff out there, and
Wow, that is-
especially in the fall when it's not too hot and you can keep some moisture in the track and then turn the lights on. It's awesome.
That's
at nighttime.
what kind of surface is it? Just regular dirt? It's not like pea gravel or anything like
Yeah,
that?
it's just like, I don't know, like a clay short track or
Wow.
something. Yeah, it's up on a hill too, so all the water runs off. So
Oh,
we
that's
can
cool.
ride
So the
this.
turn track, isn't there a tree there?
Yeah,
Is
we
there-
had Jesse Janish, the flat track guy. He came out there and rode with us, and it was a little slick. He ended up parking his 450 into the side of the tree.
I wondered if that tree was ever going to come into
Yeah, I've
play.
seen it in photos.
missing
I'm
some
like, someone's
bark.
gonna hit that
Yeah,
tree.
it's missing some bark, but you just got to be careful. But the main thing riding with those guys every day is like it's a race no matter what.
Right.
Same way on the bicycle. That's why some people don't like riding with this, is because every day right out of the gate they're wide open. So
Yeah.
you just got to be prepared before you get there, just to know that that's how it's going to be every day. It took me a while to get used to it, but
So when you go there, so how does it work with like fuel? Like, does somebody bring the gas, or do you guys all bring your own and fill up your own bike? How do you divide that
yeah,
up?
we all just keep our own stuff.
Oh, you do?
So every day I'll take all my stuff back to my house, wash it or whatever, and then change the oil in my bike, then take it back, and then you just bring your own gas, whatever else. Most of the time we're mooching off JD though. If we need
I was gonna say,
I figured JD would get mooched on.
Yeah.
And he does all the work on the bikes if you need it.
He's the mechanic for everyone, and he rides the longest.
And he preps the track.
And he preps the track.
Right.
So
Waters
he
it and
gets
everything.
the shaft, honestly. But yeah, we're thankful for JD, because if not, it'd be a
You wouldn't probably. He probably keeps you going with the whole thing a little bit,
he
right?
for sure keeps us going, because he's the one that's texting every day asking what we're doing for the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
He's the
he keeps
ringleader.
everyone motivated, and he after Nikki passed away, he kind of took the top spot, or I guess Roger took the top spot there for his last year or two, and then now JD took his spot. So
Oh, that's cool.
He stepped up to the plate, and he helps us out a lot.
That's good. Do you always have it set up so, like, is every day you ride bicycles and then you do the turn track as well, or does it depend?
Just depends kind of what the week's like. Usually, because this year he's been doing flat track and road race, that he hasn't had much time during the week. So we'll turn track during the morning. We'll do 2 or 3 30-minute motos, and then we'll go cycle 20 miles in the afternoon.
Wow.
But then like gym stuff, we all do on our own.
Oh, you
So,
do?
yeah.
Okay.
So then, but if we're not riding, then we'll meet at Rogers, and we'll do like a 30, 35-mile loop. Just depends on the day and how the week's laid out.
What gym stuff do you do? What kind of, you're trying to, it's really not trying to build muscle. Is it core strength is what you're
core
working?
strength's a lot, and then honestly, like just cycling and running and everything, I feel like I burned a lot of my muscle off my upper body, and I noticed a lot 2 weeks ago at Sonoma. So I got back with my trainer that I'd been using in the wintertime, and I've been using him the past 2 weeks. So we're gonna see if that helps this weekend.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I felt like just doing a bunch of cardio and everything, I was burning a lot of muscle that I had like in upper body, and I ended up getting fatigued there. So I'm gonna try to start putting some of that back on.
Are you specific about your diet, what you eat and how you eat and when?
Not as specific as I should be, let's
Okay.
say that. But I don't eat terrible. I wouldn't say I'm nowhere on JD's level of eating strict like that. I feel like if you work hard during the day and you put in quite a few miles or ride and go bicycle, I kind of eat not junk food, but I just kind of eat what I want. Like I'll get a steak and sweet potato or whatever. Like I'm not super strict.
And there's a lot of nutrients in beer.
I don't try to drink too much beer.
Oh, okay.
I do.
I mean,
That's
this
why I
guy
look this
does.
good. Oh, come on.
The-
He drinks enough beer for all three of us together.
That's all we need is just somebody to keep up. So
Yeah.
when you build a turn track, I have questions about this. Is it how like the Buffalo Chip is, or the TT at Peoria? Is a turn track? Is it supposed to be? It's supposed to have some turn at some point. It's an oval, but you want to do some left and right action, right? On
That's
on
why
the
it's
dirt.
called turns.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, does it depend on how many turns? Does it matter? Is JD's got
We
more
just
turns?
kind of wing it.
You do?
Honestly,
Okay.
like Nicky used to plan it out based on a track that he liked or that
Yeah.
he was going to.
Okay.
But yeah, we just wing it. Like Jake, he just got some property back home, so we'll just go out there and ride a layout or whatever. Like just throw some tires out and see what we like, and then once we find a layout that we like, then we'll take the tractor and disc over.
Oh,
it.
really? So
Yeah.
you'll try it out. That's cool.
Yeah, so
That's good.
We don't overcomplicate it.
Right, but I mean, you are trying to make some right turns in there as
Yeah,
well.
we're trying to make corners on the turn track like some of the race tracks that we do.
Okay, yeah.
So like we have a fast chicane here. JD has a fast chicane at his place too. So it's kind of replicates that.
Oh, that's cool.
That's what I work on with Ken is like he knows what our track looks like. So he'll say we're going here next weekend. Treat this corner like turn 7 at Pittsburgh. Or
Wow.
say for
That's
instance
cool.
like that.
That
So,
is cool.
Yeah.
Because it's so funny about motorcycle racers. You guys don't practice your craft as, basketball players shoot around every day.
Yeah.
You guys you ride a lot. But it's in terms of actual road racing, you don't do it until you get to the track. It's such a weird deal.
Yeah, it is. With it being so expensive and track rental being so expensive that you don't get much time. That's why I'm super thankful that the team that I'm on has the riding school and that they let us come out there and practice whenever we want. They have quite a few Rick days during the year that they have students with and let us come out and ride. So that's a huge help for me is getting to spend time away from the track working on the road race bike, because if not, we're stuck on a dirt bike every
Right.
week.
And that's Utah Motorsports campus that you're talking about, right? That you race
Yeah,
at?
they ride a couple different places. They have High Plains, Utah Motorsports, Thunder Hill, and Chuckwall all winter. So,
they go out west too.
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
So
That's really good.
They got a couple different tracks that we can go to, and that's cool because you're in a no pressure environment. You can go out there, and if you want to work on something for 10 laps, you do that. Just pull in, stop for a minute, rethink, and then go out there and work on something else for 10 laps. That where when you come here, you got to be up to speed right away, and you're gonna revert back to whatever you've been practicing on. So,
And you've got some more dirt tracks coming up, including your first Twins production race, right?
yeah, production Twins next weekend at Springfield. I'm doing Saturday and Sunday. I just got a bike this week, so we're gonna see how that goes. I know I watched the race from last year the other day. Shane Narbonne was a MotoAmerica guy.
Yeah, he did pretty well,
Yeah,
didn't
he got on a twin last year there and did pretty well, so I have high expectations next week.
So have you ever ridden one on a big track, or have you ever ridden one at all?
I've never sat on a twin before.
Wow.
So I rode a 450 at Indy Mile a couple of years ago, and that went pretty well, but I've never been on a big bike. So we'll see how it goes. I'm saying like the weight and the speed's not going to be any different than the 600 or anything out here, so
Right.
I don't think it's going to be that big of a difference, but it'll definitely be something new for sure.
Will you get to ride it at all before you go to Springfield?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out
Okay.
right now is I'm trying to get it down to Owensboro because we have a track there, and we'll see if we can get some laps on it before next weekend. If not, we'll swing it.
That'll be great.
Well, I think that's probably enough time with Nick. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and thank you guys for
Really
helping
good to
me
have you
out
on,
again.
Nick.
And also make sure you subscribe to your MotoAmerica Live Plus so you can watch these races if you can't come in person. Obviously, we'd love to have you come out for Pittsburgh here and join us for the weekend. So anyway, you guys have a good weekend. Good luck.
Thanks
Thanks,
for
Paul.
having me.
Good to have you, Nick.